The synergy with watches and cycling. I've known for years that many of the bikes in the road race pro peloton aren't really built where the badge logo suggests. Even 15 years ago, I noticed that plenty of so-called Italian or American frames were actually being built in China or Taiwan, some open mould, some closed mould, all produced with incredible consistency. A lot of what we call Swiss or Japanese begins life elsewhere. Cases, dials, crystals, even full movements, all crafted to microscopic tolerances before being finished and branded abroad. To the casual observer, you'd never know, but once you see it, you start noticing the global network behind every tick and every turn of the pedal. Cycling measures performance in wind tunnels, horology measures it in seconds per day. Different worlds, same pursuit of performance. Cyclists and watchmakers speak the same language: gears, tolerances and friction reduction. Every bearing and every joule is designed to minimise loss, to make energy transfer as efficient as possible. The truth is, most of the best frames and many of the finest watch components now come from China. Those factories have mastered repeatable precision. The execution is often flawless. If there's ever a drop in quality, it's usually down to the specification dictated by the client, often a cost-cutting choice, not a weakness in Chinese manufacturing itself. In both cycling and horology, it's the execution and finishing that turn precision into performance. A carbon structure or a movement plate may be born in Shenzhen, but it's the care taken in final assembly in Switzerland, Japan or Italy that gives it soul. Global production, localised perfection. Harry Hudson's victory at the Junior UCI World Championships in 2025 was more than just a win on the road, it was a turning point. He did it on a Chinese-built open-mould frame, a design available to anyone with the courage to believe in it. And suddenly the cycling world stood up and took full notice of what many had already suspected. China isn't just capable of making good frames, it's capable of making some of the best in the world. Joe from China Cycling took a real gamble sponsoring Harry with that bike. I'm going to link to his video below, well worth a watch. It was a risk that paid off, not only for him, but for Chinese manufacturing in general. That one ride shattered years of quiet gatekeeping within the sport. The idea that true performance had to come stamped with an Italian or an American postcode. And the same slow shift is beginning to happen in watchmaking. As collectors learn more about where parts genuinely come from, the conversation is changing. People are realising that Swiss made doesn't necessarily mean every screw, jewel or plate was born in Switzerland. Legally, it only requires 60% of the watch's value to be added there, often through assembly and finishing, not raw production. Both cycling and watchmaking have lived behind the walls of branding, prestige and storytelling. For years, gatekeeping protected heritage names and inflated margins, often through storytelling rather than transparency. But those walls are starting to crack. In cycling, they have fallen. Results will now matter more than reputation, and eventually the same thing will happen in the watch world. Performance will speak louder than provenance. Branding will be recognised for what it is. Storytelling, not always superiority. In cycling, open mould frames are like templates, high performance designs that multiple brands can buy, paint and label as their own. Closed mould frames are exclusive to one brand, but often produced in the same facility with the same skilled hands as the open mould frames. It's almost identical to white label watchmaking. Microbrands and even established companies source their cases, dials, sometimes full movements from shared suppliers. Then they add finishing and design language that make them their own. The difference lies in storytelling ability, not capability. Performance has quietly become borderless. Cycling and watchmaking share a mindset, the relentless pursuit of marginal gains. In cycling, it's ceramic bearings, wax chains, optimised aero profiles that save a couple of watts. In horology, it's new escapement designs, silicon balance springs and movements chasing ever higher accuracy and reliability. Rolex have spent years developing the new land dweller movement using the Chronergy escapement and siloxy hairspring to reduce friction. It should experience less power reserve drift towards the end of its wind. Omega's Co-Axial escapement follows the same principle. Greater efficiency means less energy required for every tick. Both innovations push the limits of mechanical efficiency, proving that small marginal gains multiplied by millions of cycles define true performance. When I was a teenager, I lost a race because my group set failed me. One bad shift and the moment was gone. Since then I've always run group sets far beyond my own ability level, not for the status, but for peace of mind. And watch collectors do the same with watches, for much the same reasoning. Knowing something is beyond your needs provides comfort, because in that case the weak point is you, not the design. I'd rather blame myself than blame the equipment. It's all about buying into the engineering, trusting that when precision is tested, the mechanism won't be the thing that lets you down. Every World Tour group set now shifts electronically, yet the heart of it is still mechanical, a symphony of gears and bearings. It mirrors Grand Seiko's spring drive, where a traditional mainspring drives the hands, but an electronic glide wheel regulates the motion. Both represent balance, mechanics meeting modern control, living precision. In both cycling and watchmaking, China and Taiwan form the backbone of production. Frames, cases and components are produced to microscopic tolerances, then finished and tuned elsewhere. That final human touch, polishing, regulating, assembling, gives each product its unique identity. The connection between watches and cycling, it runs deep. Tag Heuer partnered with BMC Racing, scoring many victories and symbolising Swiss precision, competing at the very highest level. Tudor, guided by legend Fabian Cancellara, now fields its own pro cycling team, blending heritage and high-performance culture. Richard Mille equips the world champions of road racing with exclusive Horology wrist candy, RM25s, RM88s, timepieces extreme as the riders who wear them. And Tissot, the UCI's official timekeeper, ensures every finish is measured with tight timekeeping down to the thousandth of a second. Timekeeping isn't just part of cycling, it defines it. Rolex, Omega and Richard Mille chase perfection the same way Pinarello, Specialized or Bianchi do. Cycling and watchmaking are both governed by incremental progress, almost invisible improvements that accumulate into performance perfection. Bianchi has now brought much of its manufacturing back in-house, a bold move in an industry built on global supply.
Frames. Of course, Bianchi is really famous for road racing.
It will be fascinating to see how the decision affects price to performance ratio, whether the tighter control truly delivers more value or simply reinforces brand prestige. It's the same question watchmakers have wrestled with for generations. Does in-house always mean better, or just more expensive storytelling? In cycling, milliseconds can define legends. In watchmaking, consistency over time defines reputation. Both chase the same ideals, precision and endurance. So when Harry Hudson crossed the line on that Chinese-built frame, I saw more than a race win. I saw the quiet truth shared between cyclists and watchmakers alike, and excellence isn't always born where the logo says it is. And remember, collecting watches isn't logical, but it is horological.